What's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT, and I'm back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10. Spoiler warning for The Walking Dead show, comics, all that stuff, but mainly for the back half of Season 10, spoiler warning. Now, we have some information that was on Instagram at AMC Walking Dead, not AMC The Walking Dead, at AMC Walking Dead. Give them a follow if you want to find out more information, but spoiler warning, man, we're getting closer and closer, and I'm super excited. But before we get to it, guys, please hit that subscribe button and help us achieve our goal of 100,000 subscribers. If you're already a subscriber, thank you very much. Hit the join button to become a valued member of our PT channel, Walking Dead family, and make sure you're ringing the bell to be notified when we post videos every day. Now, this information is potentially for Season 10, Episode 10, and it says this: Daryl is looking for another way into the cave when he came upon Alpha and some Whispers walking out of the cave. Initially, he was going to wait for them to leave and then go in, but they saw him, and so he had no choice but to fight. He killed a bunch of them and then went after Alpha. They fight, and at some point, Daryl is able to knock her down with a tree branch and shove the sharp end of it deep into her shoulder or just under her shoulder. So she then stabbed her Bowie knife deep into his leg. So I'm guessing that Daryl is trying to go back into the cave to help Magna and Connie. And that's going to happen in Season 10, Episode 9, when they get out of the cave, everyone except Magna and Connie. And I want to talk about Magna for a second. I posted in another video about how Magna talking about Carol being selfish is kind of a problem. Magna was selfish earlier this season, so that is not really justifiable in my opinion. Also, Daryl and Carol have a longer relationship than Magna and Carol. Magna doesn't even know Carol, and vice versa. But when Daryl says something to Carol, I'm a little more on Daryl's side about it because it's true. And yes, it was selfish that Carol ran into the cave, but either way, I'm just not liking Magna yelling at Carol right there. But I believe this is the part, maybe from Season 10, Episode 10, when Daryl is trying to get back into the cave and the walkers are coming out. Remember the clip that happened a couple months ago, and we saw that the walkers are coming out of the cave now. So that's definitely a problem. So are the Whispers and Alpha in there with them? You can see a shirt of someone that could be a Whisper. So maybe they were checking it out after the explosion, but clearly Alpha wants to know what happened with the Whispers, and maybe these two Whispers don't come back. So either way, Daryl is going to fight Alpha. And I hope it makes sense that Alpha kind of lays the smackdown on Daryl, because Daryl is a superhero and he gets beat up from time to time, but he shouldn't lose to Alpha, in my opinion. So he fought Alpha, and he fought Beta. Who's left to fight? Anybody else left? When in doubt, give it to Daryl. And it continues on where The Walking Dead loves to make the villains super, ultra powerful. You know, way back when, even before these two, there was the governor, and they made him basically invincible. You know, they overpower the villains to make it like our heroes can't touch them, until they can, and they're like, okay, now you can take them out. But we'll see. Now, Daryl gets himself to an old gas station / garage to try to figure out how not to die. He has a cut on his head and other injuries, and Alpha's huge Bowie knife buried in his leg. That's not good. Alpha tracks him to the gas station, and she's definitely messed up too. She's limping, and the wood from the tree branch is bleeding bad. She knows he's in there, but she's too weak to fight him. Daryl's hiding behind an old car. She bangs her gun in a pipe to call the walkers, probably on a pipe to call walkers. She collapses in an old stool. Not sure, on an old stool. The walkers come and leave her alone, but go for Daryl. He is forced to fight. With no option and a walker an inch away from his face, he screams and yanks the knife from his leg to kill the walker. Man, that sounds awesome. Well, terrible, but awesome. He's desperately trying to tie a cloth or something around it to stop the bleeding. It's possible she stabbed an artery from how much and how fast his wound is bleeding. Alpha's fading in and out from her wounds. The speech she gives in the new teaser, it's from that moment. The darkness teaser, probably. She says that to Daryl as they're both on the edge of dying. She talks about seeing others from the past all around her and asks if he does too. She fades out. So he gets to a gas station. Alpha goes after him. Why, though? Just like go back, try to get help. I mean, why are you still going after Daryl? I guess she's trying to take Daryl out. But you know that ain't gonna happen, Alpha. Why are you doing that? But it sounds awesome if this happens. You know, this is Season 10, Episode 10, potentially. Now, if you see the clips from the trailers and the teasers, you do see a bandage on Daryl's hand. You see a bandage or, something happened to his hand. So I'm guessing this was from the fight with Alpha, the thing on his right hand. You can see it a little better there. It looks like a glove, but it does look like a bandage around his right hand. So I'm guessing he does take some damage. And Daryl does. Pretty much every season, Daryl gets wounded either emotionally or physically. Remember this? This was back in season 2. It was pretty awesome, and I love it. I kind of wish Merle was still around because he was hilarious. The Dixon brothers would have been great to have at this moment, really throughout the season, but they continue on. Alpha wakes up with Lydia standing over her while she's lying on the ground where she's passed out. She's delirious, and for a moment, she's human again. She cries and talks very softly to Lydia, holds her face in her hands, and sings the Lydia song. Probably Lydia, oh Lydia. Lydia calls her Mama, and that's when she snaps back to her alpha persona and tells Lydia not to call her that. They have a conversation that ends with Lydia ultimately telling her that all she wanted was to be human and that she's only there for Daryl. Lydia moves away from Alpha to go save Daryl as Alpha passes out, again whispering, I love you, to Lydia. Well, that's nice. Well, I guess Lydia is the character that the reviewer that I shared in another video is the character that's been MIA that comes back around. So we're still wondering about Lydia. What's her end game going to be? Because in the comics, she's with Carl for a while and then they break up, but Carl's not around and Henry's not around. I doubt she's going to end up with Daryl because that would be weird. They have more of a father-daughter relationship, like Daryl's looking out for Lydia all the time, and this is Lydia saving Daryl, so which is nice because Daryl needs help. Everybody needs help in their life from time to time, and Daryl kind of helped Lydia. Now Lydia's going to help Daryl, and it's nice. And I just wonder what's going to happen with Lydia because we saw Lydia here. This is the last time we saw her. She was going into the woods, and she had her bow staff that she smacked, Carol with. But in the most recent teaser, Lydia doesn't have it. Carol does. Well, I'm guessing this is Lydia's, but why does Carol have this bow staff and is Lydia okay? She's in the woods, so maybe she's going to find them. When Alpha wakes up again, Daryl and Lydia are gone, and there are some whisperers there. They put her on a litter. I'm not sure what that means, but they carry her. They put her on a litter so they can carry her. She has been reborn. Her last shred of humanity is dead. She's Alpha, not human. She states she is no longer weak, and then mentions how the others are going to suffer. When Daryl wakes up, it's the next day, and he's propped against a tree. Lydia is watching out for him. His wounds are cleaned and stitched up, but he still can't walk. So it looks like Lydia saves Daryl, which is nice. I'm glad that Daryl's okay. Well, somewhat okay. He got tore up, but it'll be all right. And I'm guessing, and maybe hoping, that Daryl and Lydia are helped by Carol and whoever else comes around. Carol's in the woods. She has Lydia's bow staff, so maybe, Carol knows where they are, and they'll all be reunited. But with Daryl wounded against a tree, takes me back when Rick was wounded against a tree. And I just wonder if that's some homage to it. I can't wait to see if there's an Easter egg or callback or connecting to it, because they love to do that on The Walking Dead. And I wonder if this is part of that scene. It kind of looks like Alpha's being lifted up. She's wounded, she's tore up, there's blood all over, so this could be at the garage gas station thing when the Whisperers come and save her. I'm not sure if it happens, but it could fit. And again, I'm not sure if this happens at all, but I'm just sharing the information that I have. But we know Daryl's going to be all right because he's right here at the battle at Hilltop. Looks like a bandage or something over his right hand. But we all know Daryl's going to be okay and will make it into season 11 and beyond because Daryl is going to be the last man standing. So when in doubt, give it to Daryl. Daryl fought Beta. Daryl's going to fight Alpha. Who else is Daryl going to fight? Negan next? Some other Whisperer? But should be awesome nonetheless. And I'm not hating on it. I'm just pointing out the obvious that Daryl is the man. They give a lot of stuff to Daryl, which is cool. But you could have gave this to somebody else. But I can't wait to find out how it goes down and if it goes down. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below, guys. And for those interested in my Zombie Apocalypse book series, check out the link in the description below. Hope you join the fight and pick up your copy today, as all the proceeds from the book series come back to the channel, as well as the book series, so we can continue on with the story. Thank you guys for watching, and tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.